spent 2 nights in a haunted house with my brother and some friends. It was meant to be a joke segment for my brother's podcast, but things got weird. What happened? And what did the experience teach me? Welcome to Inner Warrior, where I help pop culture fans overcome life's obstacles with tips and tools to unleash their inner warrior. It was supposed to be a parody on shows like Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures. My brother booked an Airbnb at the oldest house in upstate New York he could find. We spent the first day filming our opening shots of the sketch, and that night we went in with all the ghost hunting gear. We had little moments of weird sounds, a strange spike in electromagnetic frequency, and a strange change in mindset for myself at one point, but seemingly not much else the first night. I experienced a strange sense of frustration at one point that seemed out of character for myself, but I'll get into what I think that was in a bit. The second night, things seemed to have intensified. It was during this night we discovered that this wouldn't fly as a comedy sketch anymore because things got real. Members of our team had personal experiences that didn't just affect cameras and equipment, but actually affected them. It gave them chills, and no amount of footage will ever be able to fully capture those experiences. I learned those 2 nights that personal experiences matter much more than external experiences. But what do I think it was? Do I think it was actually ghosts we experienced? The truth is, you can probably try and find scientific explanations for each thing we experienced. Magnetic interference can account for some of the electronic issues we experienced, but the fact that the magnetic interference seemed to be there 1 second and gone the next, as if moving, is kinda strange. It's also strange that we did pick up electronic voice phenomenon, or EVPs, that seemed to correlate with what we were asking or what we were doing at the time. Some very clear and some not as much. If it were only magnetic interference, or if we only experienced answers through the spirit box, a channel surfing radio, or if we only experienced personal chills and physical touches, I feel it would have been easier to explain away. But with all of that happening in just 2 nights, I feel more is going on here. Do I believe there was intelligence there before we went to the house? I don't think so. I think one of 2 things happened. Either we manifested the glitches, magnetic interference, and intelligent responses because we were quote-unquote ghost hunting, whether as a joke or not, or we attracted actual disembodied intelligence from a nearby graveyard through our quote-unquote ghost hunting. To place back the scientific spin on this, I'll look again to Dr. Bernardo Kastrup, a proponent of idealism in which the world is made of consciousness. In regards to mediums and ghosts, he states that there's indeed a contact with a disembodied consciousness, but not a manifestation of that disembodied consciousness as a ghost in consensus space-time. The communication happens as a resonance of thought through the very medium of mind, the most fundamental level of reality. It takes place outside of space-time and is not in the form of language. Instead, it is the form of a direct sharing of pure subjective ideas and feelings. It is only after the communication that the perceiver's consciousness retroactively translates the subjective meaning perceived into a storyline and images that make some sense according to ordinary concepts and language. This can take place, for instance, as an overlay of the image of a dead person onto the actual physical scenery, or as a semi-automatic wording of an otherwise wordless intuition or feeling. In both cases, in my view, it is the perceiver's mind that architects the storyline, while the underlying meaning or impression or intuition may indeed be an authentic, veridical communication. So in layman's terms, he is saying that there is an impression on our consciousness from the disembodied or no longer living consciousness, and that impression or communication is then translated by our minds into audible sounds and visual sights. I believe that may explain the apparent change in mood I experienced at the house on night 1. There may have been a communication from the disembodied consciousness to me that I then translated to a change in my mood. EVPs still have their skeptics, but I find it strange when they're clear and seemingly intelligent responses. If you're enjoying the video, please subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell. So, the experience we had in the house taught me a few things. You'll never believe or understand someone else's experience unless you've experienced it yourself. I always laughed at ghost experiences thinking about how made up it seemed from an outside perspective, but now I see it from the other perspective. I see how people don't like to share their experiences because they're afraid we'll just explain them away or make them seem crazy. But whether or not it can be explained away, their experiences are real to them. Be careful what you focus on and attract into your experience, even if you think you're joking. We were jokingly going to do an investigation with the idea that we'd find nothing and make a joke about it. Instead, we had an experience that some of our team members literally got chills from. By the way, you can check out this video here where I go into the science behind the law of attraction. And the third thing I learned was be open to everything and don't dismiss things for the sake of seeming scientific or intelligent. There's more to life than what science and intelligence can supposedly explain away. Plus, science is always changing, and what may seem impossible today may eventually become a hypothesis the next. The experience strengthened my belief in the scientific perspective of idealism, and has also strengthened my belief in the idea of the law of attraction and law of assumption. You can watch the full experience over on my brother's channel, which I'll post in the description and in the pinned comments below. Question of the day: have you ever had paranormal experiences? Any you were afraid to share because you thought people would just explain it away? Let me know and share it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, I ask that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And please share it with anyone who you think may get value out of this video. If you want to learn how to make a comic, click here. If you want to learn more about how to use our minds to manifest your goals and desires, click here.